Hey gamers, I am the Bad Luck Gamer, and today, well, tonight, it's actually really late in the night. This is the same night as the last video. I'm sorry my hair is all messy and everything like that. Uh, I just felt like recording. I got done gaming with my friend who lives in Okinawa, so I stay up late and haven't taken a shower since the last video, but that's not too surprising since it was the same day. And I just wanted to do some videos because I've been very slow, I need to get on a roll when it comes to videos and do them every day, or I have trouble continuing. And so this is just my attempt to get kicked into it. I also want to do some more gaming, but I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to play. I don't know how to go about it. So I'm still figuring that out. But right now, and I don't know what I'm going to call this segment, but I want to talk about gaming and game like board gaming, video gaming, that kind of stuff. I want to talk about kind of the ideas and the concepts behind gaming. And this video in particular, I want to talk about meta. Meta is one of the is if you don't know what meta means, it's the utmost efficient you can be with character builds, item builds, time, everything like that. Meta is the most efficient or one of the most efficient ways to play a game. One of the most common concepts that meta is used in is in MOBAs. Most MOBAs have a meta where there's a certain pool of champions out of the huge list who just statistically are better, even if it's slightly than everyone else, and that's why they're the most competitive. Most games try to remove the meta the most they can, and it's totally understandable. The meta isn't, you don't want to be forced into a position or play a type of character when there's a character you like to play more, and you don't want to feel like, well, I love playing League of Legends, but there's only a small pool of champions I can play because they're the only ones who, I have a better chance of winning with. And they do a good job of removing the meta, but the meta still exists. But the thing is that because the meta still exists, it's not a bad thing. It's actually a great thing that there's kind of a meta, as long as the meta isn't too out of control. Now, in a perfect world, all there would be plays and counter plays. You pick a champion, someone picks your counter. You know, stuff like that. That would be the perfect world because you can't help having counters from one character to another. So if you want a character to have certain strengths and certain weaknesses, then obviously there's going to be another character who has strengths that applies to their weakness. But with the meta is just a general, like, these characters have the best statistics and have the best kind of stats, so people play them more because even if you're off pick or even if you're counter picked, it's not as bad as if you were playing a way off meta champion. But I like having a meta because the meta is only really important if you try to play super competitively. If you're playing with your friends, there shouldn't really be a meta unless you're tryharding. And if you're tryharding when you're just kind of goofing around, then it's just the same as playing competitive. But there's a lot of champions, especially in League of Legends. I've started playing Dota. I might start playing Dota, streaming Dota. I don't know. Because I'm just trying to figure it out and I feel like it'd be funny. And plus, people might give me some tips. But, like, in those games, the fact that there's a meta means that there's competitive play, and it's so, people get so into it that they enjoy looking for those stats. And when you understand the meta and when you start really looking into it, it's really cool. How ways people can get rid of the meta, I mean, it's really hard because if you want to have an interesting champion who has, or any character in any kind of competitive gaming, for meta. It even applies to role playing, like my role playing series. If you want to have a really interesting playstyle, sometimes you have to give up efficiency, and sometimes you have to give up efficiency to the point where they don't perform roles as good as other characters, but they do something completely interesting and different. Bard is a really good example in League of Legends because one of his he doesn't have high scaling. He doesn't have tankiness. As a support, he's really just rough to use. Even his healing is kind of subpar because the way it's implemented. But the good thing about Bard is that he can travel the map really, really far, and he's such a good bait that a good Bard can lure enemies away from the rest of the group while giving his team a chance to actually engage. It doesn't work all the time, but when it does work, it's really cool, and it actually really helps the team a significant amount. He's really good at baiting tanks too, because tanks actually can do more damage to him, so they're like, oh, I can actually get a kill for once. They chase him away, he sends them on a magical journey, and then the rest of his team comes in, smashes everyone else while, the main tank is gone. So don't think of meta as something super aggravating. And if you have friends who talk way too highly of the meta, just understand that meta is only the statistical advantage. It's by no means a skill advantage. Skill will outplay meta most of the time, unless you're in the very high echelons of competitive play, where the slightest advantage can be the biggest difference. But until that point, and in most cases, skill is what's going to get you better. So make sure that if you really want to get good at a game, don't blame the meta. Look at what, professionals are doing. Look at what the pro players are doing. Because, unless you're in the high echelons of play, you can play pretty much any champion. I mean, some champions just kind of get nerfed or broken or something, and they're just hard or impossible to play. I understand that. But those are very rare and far and few in between. So, enjoy the meta when it's time to be competitive, but enjoy the normal gameplay for the rest of the time and ignore the meta, because the meta isn't going to make that big of a difference when you're just casually gaming. And if you're getting super pissed off and super, try hard when you're casually gaming, then you're not casually gaming. Anyway, it's just something I wanted to mention. Do a video on. There's still some stuff I can talk about as far as tabletop role-playing games, but for the sake of my channel, I want to branch out and do something else. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you do, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, please give it a thumbs down so I know. Alright, gamers, ciao for now. Good luck with your games, whether they have a strong meta or not, and I'll see you in the next episode.